Cool.
Cool, cool, cool.
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 So, Stephanie, hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
How be you?
I'm cool. Cool.
Cool. You're cool, cool, cool.
Cool.
I have to
Anyways,
say, I
yeah.
know some people hate it, but the uh autistic coding of Ahmed, is it Abed? Abed in Community is probably my favorite autistic character ever.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
That's what Cool Cool Cool's from.
From what now? Is it a TV show?
Yeah, it's a TV show called Community.
Oh.
And it's about a bunch of people in a community college that like become friends.
Aw.
It sounds lame, but it's actually hilarious.
Okay.
And there's this character Abed who they never say that he is autistic, but he is
Yeah.
very autistically coded.
Okay.
And he tends to have a lot of support needs with like communication and stuff.
Right.
But he is like really smart and really funny, and like he quotes movie quotes like I do all the time,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
great. And one of his big things that he would say was like when somebody would say so, tell him whatever, and he'd be like, okay, cool.
Cool.
Yeah. And like he does that through the entire show, and it
Oh, I love
became
it.
such a thing. Like that's how I started saying it so much, is because it was like I felt very close to Abed.
I
And so
must have
like,
picked it up from someone.
yeah. But
Huh.
he's one of my favorite autistically coded characters.
Well, that
I think
small
other
talk
people
took
would
a
probably
wonderful
hate
turn.
that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that was fun.
Anyway, so there's our first
Cool.
diversion. But we're here today to talk about the decision-making process, and more specifically, what happens when that decision-making process has either a wrench in it, or has completely gone off track, or simply doesn't exist for you anymore.
It is
Uh,
frozen.
That's right. We're talking about decision paralysis, which is related to ADHD paralysis in a sense, but we'll get into all that. We're going to talk about all the things today.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Yep.
See, that's another movie thing that I
Is it from
love.
Ducky?
Yeah, and Land Before Time.
I just bought the entire movie set, like all 14. Did you know there were 14 of them?
I didn't know there were 14. I think I made it to 10.
Yeah, no, I definitely didn't see all of them, but like I need to actually sit down and watch them. It's just a matter of finding a device that will play DVDs. But I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure we have a DVD player or a Blu-ray player or
Yeah. I think
something.
I'm gonna order a DVD player actually,
Oh,
because I got all
so
those
retro.
DVDs.
So
The
retro. Oh
I
yeah,
got all those
the
DVDs
DVDs.
from you, and I was like, "Fuck."
Oh no. Yeah,
Well,
no,
I'm
you're
just gonna
gonna
have to get
okay.
one. I'm gonna get one that connects to the Vibe board so I can watch them on the big
Yeah.
screen.
There you go.
So,
I think I watched all of one of them.
yeah.
So, there you
I
go.
watched I
I think
watched the 10 for sure.
yeah, no, I
Um,
figure that way, like, you'll have way more use of it than I ever would.
yeah.
So, I don't even know why. I
We could
literally
we
had
could
to
watch them we could just watch a marathon together of it.
yeah. Wait, are we talking about Land Before Time or Jody
Yeah,
Martin
Land Before
DVDs?
Time.
Okay, I was like, I really don't wanna watch a marathon of grooming videos.
No.
But no, so, like, I could bring them
Yes.
when? At the retreat?
Oh,
I don't know if we have enough time to actually watch 14 of them. They're just gonna have to play in a consistent loop or something. I don't know, or we'll
yeah,
have,
we'll
like,
just have
Land
them
Before
going on a
Time night.
constant loop.
Yes. I feel like everyone knows, like, the first 3 at least, maybe?
At least.
At least. Cool. So we're 5 minutes into this, and we've already massively detoured twice. So, let's talk about the decision-making process and what that is. It's a series of steps, um, which, it's very linear, which I'm finding out a lot of people have an issue with, linear thinking and linear steps like this. So, first, we have to get the process going, which is,
Did you talk about what episode number this was? Did you have to record that?
that is something that I edit in each time. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got
It's
distracted.
okay. Nope, that's why I highlighted it in green. I thought I made it easier.
Well, when you said edited each time, I wasn't sure. I didn't think I
Oh.
wasn't understanding what you meant there.
Okay, yeah, no, pre-record it means we recorded it forever ago and, like, it's there as a sound bit. This one, I literally when I sit down to edit this episode, I will just make, like, a 30-second clip
So
to
maybe
stick in
next
there.
time put post recording.
Like
Yeah. I like
yeah.
that.
Cool. So, first we have to get the process going. Or initiate the task. We're gonna also talk about how, like, how many problems there how things can go wrong, because things can go wrong at every step of this series of steps in the decision-making process. But let's just get through the process, okay? So then we have to pay attention to the information coming in and remember the details so you can compare different options, because again, we're trying to make a decision here. We have to be able to see the different possibilities and know what each option entails. And lastly, we have to think about the consequences of each of these options and remember all of it. So, anyways, that's the decision making process
Yeah.
in a nutshell.
There's a lot that can go wrong for that.
Oh, yeah,
So,
which we will talk about in the next section. But
all right.
first, we'll talk a little bit about what decision paralysis is. Um, so there's a lot of different names this will go by, which, for example, we have got choice overload, over choice, which I've never heard, but choice paralysis, the paradox of choice, which the paradox is pretty. It's just meaning like you would think that if you're given, say, 20 options versus 2 options, oh, look at all of that freedom. You have 20 options. That's got to be amazing, right? No, no, it's not. Because it's not a simple Venn diagram between 2 options anymore. Have you seen a Venn diagram with 20 options? I don't think it actually physically works. Um, Maybe it does. I don't know. I haven't seen a Venn diagram with more than 3 things in it, or 3
Yeah.
circles. Anyways, no matter what you want to call it, this describes how people can get overwhelmed when presented with a large number of options to choose from. Though we will talk about how sometimes it can literally just be 2 options and it can still be paralyzing. Um, we'll feel constantly preoccupied with these decisions we need to make, or we'll ruminate over these choices and then we'll regret them and be like, well, what if, we'll talk about anxiety with all of this because that plays a part for sure. So up until relatively recently, most people's paths in life were more or less predetermined. We couldn't really be choosy with what foods we wanted to eat or how we wanted to dress, unless, of course, we were like nobility. Um, couldn't really choose like what job we would have, whether or not we get married or have children. But now that there have been innumerable industrial and technological advancements, we have this free market economic system, America, with so many different options that we now have to weigh the pros and cons on and make decisions all day long, every day.
I would like to point out,
Yes.
remember I'm going to talk about this theory for the rest of my life. The theory that we are
Hunter gatherers.
closer to hunter gatherers,
Yeah.
less choices.
Less choices. Yeah.
Our
We would,
choices were we go find food, we eat what we can,
yeah,
we come home.
exactly.
Like
Right. Right. Like there weren't choices because granted, I mean, obviously, don't get me wrong. I really appreciate the technological advancements that allow you and I to sit here miles and miles and miles apart and record this podcast. And I
yeah,
like flushing toilets too. But
yeah.
But times were simpler, man.
Yeah. Our brains are just not meant for this.
Yeah. Well,
And
and,
yeah,
like, so you I'm gonna, like, just a little side note here to rant on, like, social media because our brains aren't meant for that either.
yeah.
And I'm one to talk because I literally, like, instead of preparing for this, was scrolling TikTok.
Yeah.
I don't know
But
why I feel
TikTok
the
has
need to.
so much information.
It does. I was definitely not watching a million different shuffle dance videos and wondering if I could actually learn to do that. That's
Definitely not.
I mean,
I've
that's educational,
honestly
right?
what?
That's educational.
Yeah,
Fitness.
that's very educational. I l I don't know that you've got it yet, but they're starting to slowly roll out the new STEM feed.
No, I still
Um,
don't have
so
that.
it's science, technology, engineering, STEM,
Mathematics.
mathematics, and so it's all smart stuff. And so you get to learn all of the things, and it's literally like it's the best way for me to fucking learn because I like learning little tidbits
Right?
in short bit
And
bursts
it's
and
entertaining, it's
yeah,
visual,
and be
there's words on the
entertained.
screen. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Edutainment.
I don't have to keep concentrating on it for 3 fucking hours to learn that piece of information because that's the
Exactly.
only piece of information I would have gotten on a 3-hour fucking
Right.
video
It's like that 1
because
minute or 2.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's perfect. It's all condensed and I can learn lots of new facts just very quickly and I love it. It's the
I c
best.
I can't wait until I get that feature. I'm very jelly right now.
It's
But
awesome.
anyways, our brains weren't meant to be under this constant onslaught of just so many things thrown at us at
Stimulation.
once. So many
Yeah.
yes, it's all a whole bunch of stimulation. And the fact that I can go from, like, literally, like, "Oh, puppies," to, "Oh, we just had a school shooting this morning," to, "Oh, she's getting married," to, "Oh, they died." Like, it's
Up and
very
down.
roller coastery, which is really difficult to navigate because especially if you're not great with regulating emotions, um, that can really anyways,
It's fine.
we're just okay, well then, you know what? Since it's fine, I learned something because my friend was telling me about empathy drain. So
Mhm.
every time you like whether it's good or bad or whatever, it take I think was actually more like bad news. Like if something sad happens to someone you care about and you're like scrolling and you see it, that takes like a little percentage of you. It might not be a lot, but if you're scrolling and you see like 20 sad things over the course of scrolling, like it's pulling from you and then you're just exhausted. And this is actually why they think that people end up being assholes on social media because like when they're normally like really nice people because they're just so drained of empathy because they've just been scrolling and it's just been eating them up.
Yeah,
But
that makes sense. I like that.
anyways, these you're getting all kinds of tidbits here.
It's all of that STEM!
All of the STEM. Uh anyways, so unless you have something to add into this little section, we can go ahead and take a break and come back and talk about how we as neurodivergent humans experience decision paralysis.
I'm good.
Cool. So and now a message from one of our sponsors.
Woo!
Oh yeah, the time.
Timing. Woo!
Are you
Sorry.
okay? Okay. Are you ready?
Now I'm ready.
Okay. And we're back. And all of YouTube will see that, but it's okay. That's why I was doing that mostly. It was just I don't know. I don't know. It's okay. So anyways, like I said, we're going to talk about how we as neurodivergent humans experience decision paralysis. Um so I'm going to jump right into like anxiety and then let you have the floor and we can just kind of riff. Um so if you're like me and many other neurodivergent humans, you have anxiety. Um This tea is always hot.
Yep.
This anxiety causes me to try to think through every single option presented to me, and some impossible ones at that. Um, but you can't, like, like, it's those irrational what ifs that, like, why am I even thinking about this? But you can't stop thinking about it. Like, you have to consider it as a viable option, even if in no world could it be. Um, and then we just have to try to determine which one is the best one to choose. So this is a really tough process for me because even when I've done this analysis, I start worrying that, oh, well, maybe I missed something, or maybe I misanalyzed something, or what if I don't have the newest information about this, and maybe I'm going to miss out on something, or I'm going to make the wrong decision. It's going to irrevocably change the course of my entire existence. So, once I've gotten myself really worked up, uh, often it's too stressful to even make the decision because I'm just in this, like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna make the wrong decision. I don't even know what to do, and no amount of research is fixing it." And so I don't. Like, this is where the paralysis comes into play. I just simply don't make a decision, so I'm hanging in limbo, which is not fun, until something in my situation changes, whether it be, like, all of a sudden I have no more time and I have to just, like, very frantically pick something, or I just no longer have the decision to make. It's just something in my situation has to change. So that's, me with decision making.
Yeah. Um, for me, my decision-making issues tend to be, smaller things, usually things that affect other people. Um, big decisions, I tend to use my ADHD power of being super impulsive to make
Yep.
a lot of decisions. Big decisions, but I can't use it on the little decisions for some reason. Um so my issues are usually like what am I going to have for dinner tonight, or like
Yeah.
what movie should I watch? And
Yeah.
those will overtake me forever.
Yeah.
um like I'll try to decide on a movie and it'll take me the amount of time that I could have
That you
watched a
could have
movie.
watched the entire
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. Um,
That's Joe scrolling through Hulu. I'm like, "Babe,
you
just
could have
babe, I
watched
would
like
like to
3
watch a
movies.
movie tonight, please." Uh,
Yeah.
Anywho's, um,
Um,
so yeah, you brought up ADHD, so, ADD or ADHD, whichever, garden variety you've managed to get, um, can lead to an especially tough time weighing options and choosing, because those with attention deficit disorders typically have trouble with the specific skills that go into this decision-making process. Um, so if you think back to when I detailed the decision-making process, we often have, like, that first step is being able to initiate the task, which is something that requires executive functioning skills, where a
mhm,
lot of neurodiverse people actually have executive dysfunction, which is
mhm,
basically where the management center of the brain isn't functioning as it should. This management center, and it doesn't just handle one little thing. Oh no, it touches everything. So the center of the brain deals with things like memory and flexible thinking, self-control,
mhm,
attention, organization, planning, and more. So, if you think back again to that decision making process, it requires remembering details while flexibly thinking about the different options and weighing them, and basically seeing everything in front of you and being able to compare. And that's just, like, you can see where having to make a decision can be a huge ordeal and sometimes just impossible, like,
mhm.
just impossible to do.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, and yeah, a lot of it, that executive dysfunction a lot of times comes from us, we're talking about the linear thinking.
mhm, mhm.
It's we don't see it linearly, lin you know what I mean?
I know what you mean now, I don't know if it's even a word. Keep going. It
Anyways,
is. It is a word.
uh, so we don't think that way. We tend to, people who are neurodivergent tend to see like all of the tasks at once kind of
Yeah.
thing. So
Yeah.
like that executive dysfunction is kind of a decision paralysis in itself,
Mhm, mhm.
because that first step is to initiate the task, and your executive dysfunction is going, "Oh no, that's a lot of tasks in that one task," you
Right.
know?
Right.
Because we see all of the tasks that have to be done
Like,
within that task.
at
Yeah.
once, all with the same urgency of needing to be done first. It's very
Yeah.
hard to, like, prioritize.
Yeah.
Um,
And so then your executive dysfunction is like, fuck no, we don't have time for all those tasks. Um, and just turns
do
off.
something else.
Yeah.
Um, Stephanie had reminded me of this because I didn't even think of it until she mentioned it. That she got to actually experience a very good example of this affecting me. So we recently had the
And
Northwest.
I
Oh, go
I
ahead.
would like to point out the reason that I like this so much is not only, like, that I got to witness it, but, like, I also got to be part of the, like, talking it over after, which is, like,
The
my favorite part.
reflection.
Like,
Yes.
the reflection is so fun for me, I
The
don't know why.
introspection.
Like,
Yes.
just going back and being like, "Okay, I could have done that better.
Right.
Okay."
Well, and because I
Like,
didn't realize, like, how textbook it was
yeah.
and how obvious it was to other people, I guess, where
I
I
mean,
just was
it
like,
was obvious to me. I don't know if it was as obvious to everybody else,
well, yeah, yeah, but
but yeah, it was very textbook. And yeah, like, the reflection of being able to be, like, putting a name to it for you, and you're
right.
like, "Oh,
Shit.
oh, that makes so much more sense." Like,
Okay, so we're done teasing
sorry.
you guys, we'll get right into it. Because 'cause I'm realizing we're, like, dancing around it.
We're gonna
Um,
tell the story.
it's
Would you
like,
like
what
to
did
tell
Meg
the
do? What
story?
happened to Meg? So we recently had
And on the next episode.
No, I could never do that to you guys. There's no part 1, part 2. You're gonna learn it all right now. Um,
We'll
so we re
forget before we can do
well,
part
that's true. I'll forget that we had to do a part 2, and then y'all will forever be on the edge of your seat.
2.
Um,
And that's why we don't do a part 2.
anyways,
Sorry.
okay, so we recently had the Northwest Grooming Show in Tacoma, okay? And Stephanie drove over from Wisconsin, so she was there.
Woo.
And, Amanda Layton was there, who is one of our fabulous sponsors that let me see, what have you heard from her yet? No, not yet. She'll be your next commercial break, I think. Anyways, she was there, and then so was my husband, Joe. And he had come over to Tacoma because Tacoma is my home show. He came over to just, go out to dinner with us that Friday night. So
I would like to point out,
yes.
I was in a separate car and talking to you
Yes.
guys on speakerphone.
That's true. Okay, so Stephanie was there, but not physically there, but
Yeah,
we were meeting at the restaurant.
details.
I talk about it, don't worry. So to kind of set the scene, that morning, Amanda and I got up at like 5 to go do a 4-mile hike before the trade show. Okay. And then I proceeded to work the Washington Association of Professional Pet Groomers booth all day long.
We need to have a little, like, ding noise for,
Oh,
like, red flag of your day.
every trigger, every over
Yep.
stimuli. Um,
Oh, yes, every trigger and stimuli, yes.
okay, then
Okay,
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Do you wanna keep tabs?
okay.
Okay. You can bang if you want, or you can just raise a finger. It doesn't
Okay.
matter. I'll say it out loud at the end how many there were, for those listening audioly. That's not a word.
Adioli.
Audio on audio. Aurally, aurally.
Orally.
It's
Oral.
Aurally. But I wanted to make sure it didn't sound like orally because that's not right either. We're 12. Anyways, okay, so I'm gonna restart and we're gonna go through my day. And Stephanie is going to keep track of how many stimuli we're basically building up. And if something is a particularly large stimuli, like a full day of working the booth, feel free to add more than one.
Uh-huh.
Um, Okay, anyways, so Amanda and I are staying in a place that's not my house.
Bing,
We wake up early, which isn't a big deal. We go do a 4-mile hike.
ding.
I mean, I love doing that, but anyways,
Yes, but it is stimuli.
and then we had to come back and get ready, and then I went and worked the Washington Association of Professional Pet Groomers booth all day long, 9 to 6.
Ding, ding.
I didn't eat anything all
Ding.
day. I was drinking probably not nearly enough as I should.
Water.
Um, I was drinking some water. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
water.
And
Yeah,
like you
not
just said,
alcohol.
drinking.
Oh, well, for me, drinking means water.
Yeah. I just needed to clarify for the rest of
No,
us.
clarification's important. Okay. Okay. So it's Friday evening in Tacoma. It is St. Patrick's Day. We are
Ding,
trying to go to a pub.
ding.
So there's traffic. It's downtown Tacoma. My
Ding.
husband my husband picked Amanda and I up from the hotel, and it's just a couple blocks, so it wasn't a lot of space. It was just street parking. Stress.
Ding.
Um, ding. And there was no parking. Like, and you couldn't see parking. We circled around, you couldn't see parking at all. So then my husband is asking me over and over, what are we doing? Where are we parking? What is happening? What are we doing? Like, and I'm like, stressed. Okay. After a day full of stimulation, I am overstimulated, underfed, probably underhydrated, stressed, and now I'm having to figure out like a last minute change in my planned activity, which I don't do fabulously with that.
Ding ding.
Um, I don't even know how many hands you've gone through now at
That's
this point.
we're at 15 fingers now.
Oh God. Okay. Anyways, so at this point, I had had it. I was ready to just call it quits, let them go have dinner, and go collapse in the hotel room. Like, I didn't even care. Like, y'all go have fun. I'm out of here. So basically, we found the first place we could pull off the road. Of course, this entire time, Stephanie's on speakerphone, and I'm trying not to lose my shit because she's on the phone and Amanda's in the car too. So I'm trying to also like
So
regulate myself when I
ding.
want to be like panicking and honestly telling him to shut the fuck up. But I wasn't gonna do that. So, anyways, I'm trying to regulate. I'm proud of myself for how well I regulated myself.
You did pretty
Anyways,
good.
thank you. I was screaming inside. I was exploding.
I could
Um,
feel
yeah,
it.
yeah, shockwaves of energy. Anyways, so finally though, I literally couldn't speak. Like I couldn't there wasn't much I
You
couldn't
were
even
basically nonverbal.
I couldn't move out of that moment. I was stuck. And fortunately, he found the first place he could pull off the road safely and then just asked me to find somewhere to where to park. So I could just forget everything else. I didn't have to worry
Mhm.
about the restaurant or anything like that. So that helped break me out of my paralysis. I mean, I still wasn't okay.
Yeah.
And really wasn't okay until I started eating. And even so, I was still just really freaking tired. Oh, can we add a stressor that I was speaking for the first time in 2 days and
Oh,
had
yeah.
not made my presentation yet?
Ding.
Also, this will be a test to see if Mary listens to us because I don't think she does. So we'll see. Because she definitely did not know I did not have anything together yet. Um, anyways, so with what little bit of sanity I had left, I was able to find us the parking garage. Between Stephanie and I, we figured out a parking garage that was close by. We paid a couple bucks for parking, but it got me out of kind of the freak out. And then we went and had dinner, and it was good food, and all's well that ends well, right? But like that was a lot of unnecessary garbage. So we had some nice introspection.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Do you
do you
wanna know
wanna
what your total was?
yeah, what's my total?
19.
Oh god. When I feel like
I'm
I'm
gonna start
trying
doing this every time we do an introspection type thing where we're gonna count all of the little stressors.
Right, right. Well, and also it's like
Be like, "You
how
need to get those numbers down."
well, and what's my obviously I wasn't technically past my limit 'cause I didn't, like, spontaneously combust. I might as well have, though.
Yeah, no, you weren't past your limit yet. You were
Good
close, but you
God.
weren't there yet.
Ugh. Anyways, so Stephanie talked to me later about it, and we kinda went through it, and then I was kinda like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense." And you told me, um you brought up, like, him basically just giving me one task to do, one thing to think about.
Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
like,
remember
I
what you said
don't
about that?
I was like, "I don't think he even realized that he did it."
I don't think so either.
I'm like, "But Joe actually did the best thing that he could have in the moment,
Yeah,
is just break it down to that one thing that you had to do was
right,
just find me parking."
right.
That's all you had to do, and it
Yep.
was yeah, that decision paralysis was just lifted.
Yeah, because then I just had to
Obviously, yeah,
focus on
you had an emotion it was an emotional toll in general on
yes.
you,
Yes.
so on top of the emotional toll you already had, my
Yes.
tea.
Yeah, I know,
So
right? Exactly. So
so, like, yeah, it took a while for you to fully come back from it, but,
yeah,
um, it was pretty quick to, like, break that paralysis of, "I just need you to do this one thing."
right. Because then we decided on the parking garage, and we went and parked, and then we went and had dinner, and, you know so, yeah, that's my, recent relevant experience with this. And now for a message from one of our sponsors, because I need a minute.
Yeah, give me a second, 'cause, John's coming downstairs to grab Nibbler, I think.
Okay, no worries, as long as the YouTubes oh, the people in the YouTubes. You're doing good, though.
Yeah,
Doing good on time. I'm so sleepy. Just going through that, man.
right?
Also because I
Hold on one
didn't
second.
okay.
Hey, John,
Yeah, yes.
read your
Sorry,
message.
Steph talking to me through the doorbell.
Read your messages. I just wanted you to come get Nibbler.
Okay.
You're talking to him through the doorbell?
He was on the phone, and I knew he didn't get my message.
I love it.
But Nibbler is dying to get out of here. He keeps yelling at me, so
Aw.
I asked him to take him. So
Yeah. Oh, nipples.
thank you. All right. So
Okay, so
where are we?
oh, okay.
Okay.
We're gonna come in right here.
Yep.
Which you kinda talked about that already, but feel free to, do whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back.
We're back.
Woohoo! So, yeah, so I definitely didn't have just decision paralysis. I was also dealing with ADHD paralysis, which Stephanie, if you would be so kind.
So I view it as being very similar. I was explaining how ADHD um has the executive dysfunction,
Mhm, mhm.
and how that executive dysfunction is really based off of your brain goes, "Oh shit, that's way too many tasks at
Yeah,
once. I can't handle
yeah.
that. I'm just not going to do any of them."
Yep,
And so it's like uh it's it's really like ADHD paralysis it stems from decision making issues. So
yep,
that's
and
basically
after having to make decisions all day long, and when I had about 2 brain cells lifting up my entire brain, like, And then they were asked to do something else. It was just too much.
Yep. Yeah. Well, and we were all like, we're not super particular with our food, so we're like, yeah, we'll do
Ah,
whatever Meg wants.
which doesn't help me at all.
I know, but you're the one that
Ah,
is a picky eater, which is okay. It is okay to be a picky eater. In fact, it's actually better for people like me who are not picky eaters but can't ever decide on food.
I know, but then it means it's up to me, and then I'm always like, "Are you sure it's okay? Is this okay? Are you sure?" Like, you tell me if it wasn't, right?
Absolutely.
Good, good. Um,
I don't lie.
well, good. I was gonna say, don't have me be like, "Let's
Like,
go
I'm
get"
not gonna be a dick about it. I'm not gonna be
well,
like,
yeah.
"Man, you picked the wrong fucking place." Like, I'd be like,
Like
"It's fine."
I'd really rather not have the Vietnamese food, and then I would just go to, like, the next thing.
Yeah.
So, um, anyways, I completely forgot about all of that, the whole
Yeah.
Meg is picky thing.
Everyone, please let Meg know that it is okay to be a picky eater.
Oh, but, like, it's not like I feel like I need to defend myself, and I feel like I need to explain just a little bit. It's not picky as in, like, I can't eat vegetables or something like that. It's picky because I'm specifically trying to avoid sugars and, like, seed oils and stuff and, like, fried food,
And
and
you also have sensory issues with food and silverware and stuff.
that's true. It's definitely with the silverware and
Yeah.
materials of the what I'm eating with and on. I don't know if I've ever actually identified any sensory issues with food itself. Um, because like I like all the weird textured stuff. So like I don't really think I have really any
I think it
textury.
also depends on how overstimulated you are.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
That's why we have that's why safe foods exist. Like,
It's probably pretty variable. Yeah.
and
Um
listen, like, I am usually a pretty laid back person with food. Um, he got fed, so now he's good.
oh.
Um, I'm typically a pretty laid back person with food, but when I'm overstimulated, I can be very picky.
Mhm.
Smells will get to me, and certain flavors will get to me, certain textures will get to me that like normally wouldn't bother me.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so like I can be picky sometimes, and I will like when I'm in those moods where I'm like I just need these foods,
Right.
I will be very vocal about it, where I'm just like, you guys can do whatever you want.
This
I'm
is what
having
I'm
safe
gonna
food.
have.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and like I'm not gonna force everybody to have my safe food, but I'm gonna be
Right.
like, you guys do your thing. I'm having a
Right.
safe food.
Right.
And um, but that's why I try so hard not to get overstimulated. Mostly because
Yeah.
I don't want to miss out on delicious food because I'm overstimulated. Like,
Right. Right. And trying new things and all that.
so
So, to
the
bring
point is, it is okay to be picky, even if it's different picky than what most people think of.
okay, that makes me feel better. I just felt like I needed to be like, it's not that I can't like not eat crunchy foods or like
Yeah,
it's like
you're
it's a totally health oriented thing.
yeah. Either
um
way, it doesn't matter.
anyways.
We need
Anyway, so to bring
we
us
need
back,
picky eaters to balance off the non-picky eaters.
there you go. So we can make the
So,
decisions. Except if I had my way, I'd probably eat Vietnamese and like noodle bowls and boba every night.
same.
Which is a lot more carbs than I want. But here I go being picky. So here we go. Let's bring it back and let's talk about some of the symptoms of ADHD paralysis in adults, because this way you can kind of be like, oh, all of these things interrelate. And ooh, I never thought that that might be connected to paralysis. So let's talk about overthinking or overanalyzing problems. I don't know what to say with that. Should I just go through the list?
I mean, we can, but I mean, I think a lot of yours comes from overthinking and
Am I
overanalyzing
overthinking it
problems.
right now? I'm overthinking it right
You're
now.
overthinking it right now.
Classic.
I'm just I really need to just get you a shirt that just says overthinking right now.
I mean, I would have to wear it all the time. Um,
That'll be the new design that I have to put in eventually.
yes. I was gonna say, I feel like we have a lot of designs. We have merch, guys. Don't forget we got merch.
Yeah, if you guys
Stickers,
start
stickers,
buying merch, then
stickers.
I will actually, like, design more because then I'll have, like, some sort of motivation.
We need to get stickers for Idaho,
Fuck, yes.
even if it's just our logo.
Yeah, I will work on that. Uh, I'll do it tomorrow
Okay.
because I'm gonna try my printing place.
Ooh, yes. Okay,
Yeah,
perfect. Anyways, so overthinking and overanalyzing problems. Unable to start a project even when high priority.
I
Um,
struggle with that a lot.
I'm gonna let you guys in on the secret that I kind of mentioned earlier too. So I taught for the first time in Tacoma, and I didn't have my presentation done until like the Saturday, and I taught on Sunday, and I was still working on it Sunday morning because even though I knew and like wanted to start that months in advance, like when I knew I was going to be teaching, I just couldn't make myself work on it because I knew, I don't know if it's just because I knew I could do it the night before. So why worry about it now? Except the problem is I still worried about it the whole time and just didn't
Yeah.
actually do anything. Um, Anyways, unable to prioritize and manage tasks, which calls into the whole, decision paralysis, task paralysis you were talking about, how you just see all of the tasks that
Mhm.
are involved and you really can't like prioritize and kind of see a path on how you need to start here. Like you can't even figure out where to start,
Yeah.
let alone where to go after you start.
The big ball of wibbly wobbly timey wimey things.
S- Speaking of timey-wimey things, poor time management
Yeah.
or and time blindness.
Yep.
Unable
Uh,
to oh, go ahead.
time blindness is and time management makes it especially hard to make
Mhm,
decisions.
mhm. When you
'Cause
can't
then you're
conceptualize how long
it
something will take.
that actually could be part of what you're struggling with. You can't make the decision to start working because in your brain, that's months away. You have plenty of time and you'll get it done.
And then
But you
it's
just
weeks
keep
away, and then
doing
it's
that.
days away, and then it's
Yeah, but
hours
you're like, "I
away.
still have time. I still have time. I still have time," and you just keep pushing it. Um, and it's like, "Yeah, I have plenty of time." It's like, "Yeah, I do have plenty of time, but I really should just do it now."
Well,
Like
exactly. I could have had that completely done. Like I mean, it ended up taking me like a day.
yeah.
So like I could have done that and it could have been done and I could have not stressed over it for literally months.
Mhm. I do the same thing because, like, yeah, it's like, "Oh, yeah,
Oh,
it's
I
fine.
know.
I'm
Oh, I
gonna do this
know.
other thing first," you know?
I know because I saw you working on your class when we were in North Carolina.
Yep, sure was.
I'm not the only one getting called out here. Mm-mm.
Nope.
Uh,
I will be very upfront. I did a neurodivergent class, and I finished it that evening
yeah,
before.
yeah. Very neurodivergently, I would say.
Yep, I handled that very neurodivergently. Um, Poor Mary. I'm like, I can't imagine putting together a neurodivergent summit, and you have to deal with all of us. Like,
Ooh.
I wonder if she just spends, like, the weeks building up to it, just, like, waiting, like, hoping and just, like, wondering, like, "Are they gonna finish in time? Are they gonna get it done? Am I gonna have any classes? Like, what if they forget?" Though she is more neurotypical, so she probably doesn't have to worry about those things. She
Well,
has her plan
exactly.
in motion, and it's fine.
Well, yeah, 'cause she probably has it scheduled like, "Oh, check on everyone's status here and message them if they're not," so she doesn't even fucking think about it until she gets to
Yep.
it. I mean, maybe not, Mary, if you're listening. let us know, because I feel like, I don't know, I get the
Yeah.
feeling she doesn't listen. I would love for her to prove me wrong. Anyways, anyways. Um Also too, this is why I never learn, because my boss who saw the class was like, if you hadn't told me that you did it like the day leading up, I never would have known. It was so good. So I'm never going to change because clearly it's working.
Yeah.
Because why would I work on it months in advance if I know I can just, and that's been like all through school, dude, like end of term papers and projects, like the night or two leading up, and I got A's. So why wouldn't I do it that way?
Yeah. Exactly. No, I get it too. And like
Yeah.
I always get it done.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm
At the
like,
cost of
yeah.
what though? Like at what cost?
I mean, I'm usually pretty fucking tired, but
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
push through.
Yeah.
Um, I'm the master of fucking pushing through something and then like just
Dying later.
knocking out for like 12 hours. But like
But then being like incapable for the next couple days. Of just like, yeah, I'm hitting a
yeah.
wall. I'm not gonna do anything. I did the thing and now I
Yep.
gotta recover.
No,
Um,
yeah, it's definitely an issue. And but like I'm trying not to beat myself up about things as much
yeah,
because,
yeah,
you know, I still got it done
right.
and done quickly is better than not done at all.
That's
So,
true. That's true.
um, and or done last minute is better than not done at all. And so it's like, at least I did something,
Right,
and
right,
I just keep hoping that eventually I'll get it right and get my brain to work right.
right, right.
'Cause, yeah, calendars and none of it work, man. I have to actually look at the fucking calendars to actually know what's going on.
And see, we have been a clear example of this next ADHD paralysis symptom, which is unable to maintain focus and easily distracted.
I think we're avoiding things.
Difficulty making decisions. Yes, we know that. That's this whole podcast.
Yep.
Um, Rapid mood and emotional changes, which, of course, like we talked about with social media, it doesn't help that we're artificially being dragged through these.
Yeah.
Um, Not that your moods or emotions related to that are artificial, but the fact that you know what I mean by artificial. Like,
Yeah. I
yeah,
got what you meant.
yeah. Did you guys? Okay, they're not going to respond. Unable to listen actively. This is a thing, and I have been trying. It's slowly working, but but see, like I need it for myself, and yet I can't quite get it right with you all of the time. Where I have to make sure I have your attention before I talk, because otherwise, like, and I'm trying to teach Joe that too, because he'll be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I told you this, this, and this." I was like, "Did I look at you? Did I say anything? No." Then I didn't
Yep.
hear you. Like, you need to make sure I've said, "Okay, I'm ready," and I'm, like, paying attention, because
Yeah.
otherwise it's not.
Well, and I'm really bad to like when I'm in the zone, I tend to look like I'm listening.
Mm, yeah.
I think it was like a passive masking thing. Like
Okay.
maybe if I look like I'm listening, then they just won't bother me, you know?
Right. Right.
Um so I also tend to like when I'm zoned out, I tend to look cuz I always got made fun of and yelled at for my blank stare.
Ah, nice.
So,
Dissociation.
yep.
There's a trend on TikTok about that right now, and I don't know how I feel about it.
What is it now?
Um, it's basically like a uh, what is it? I just saw it. Um, like what well, I don't like it in the fact that I feel like it calls me out because it'll be like, okay, what's like your masking face? And it'll be people like who have like are always like smiling and like moving around their eyes, and then it's like, okay, and 3, 2, 1, and then it's just
Yep.
gone, like just complete, like take it off. And I was like, nope, not me. Nope, not me. For anyone just listening, I've just realized you didn't really catch any of that. So because I was very visual, but you saw it where
Yeah.
like you're smiling and you're moving around and your eyes are moving around and stuff versus just there's no expression on your face. You're a deadpan. You are not on this dimension right now. Blank stare, 1,000-yard stare, whatever they call it. Um, and then when I was saying not me, I had put back on the forced smile and was bouncing around. Um, Anyways, jumping from one task to another, just like we're jumping from one thought to another,
Mhm.
losing trains of thought. Choo choo, bye.
Bye.
Lack of
Oh, dude, do
focus.
you have gas?
Oh my god.
Gross. Sorry.
It's okay. That wasn't directed to me, you guys. That was to Nibbler.
Really stinky.
Oh, Nibbles. He said, I just ate, Ma. I got gas. uh,
Continue. I'm just gonna smell my peppermint. Peppermint.
I love it. Anyway, so lack of focus and lack of clarity, which would also be known as brain fog, and then avoiding tasks that require sustained attention or focus, which is why sometimes I go a couple days of not doing anything I should be doing because I just can't. That's been these last couple of days, but also in my defense, I did get surprised with the tickets. I had no idea we were going to the movie. Which was fabulous, by the way. Super Mario Brothers. It was so, I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes hates it, like critics don't like it, but the audience gave it like a 98% positive rating. So,
I've heard good things about it. I'm probably just gonna wait till it comes out on a streaming service.
I mean, that's what I would
I
have
did
done
go to see
too.
the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
Oh, is it good?
Yeah, it was hilarious. Fucking
So
loved it.
could somebody like me who's never had any experience with Dungeon and Dragons still like follow along and get a kick out of it?
Yeah, you just wouldn't understand all of the inside jokes.
Ah,
Um,
okay.
there's a lot of like you have to be a player to know.
Well, and that's
Like
like
joke
with this. Oh, go ahead.
with the jokes, like it's just you have to be a player to know. Um
Okay.
just
They
like
had moments like that in Super Mario as well, like if you like literally like castle guards were like, "Oh no, she's not in this castle, Mario. You should check another like so there were definitely some like
yeah,
fourth wall breaks and stuff like that, but that wouldn't be caught unless you're in the fandom already.
yeah. There might be other people laughing around you that you're like,
Sure.
what's
Yeah,
going on?" But
okay.
yeah.
um
Don't watch it in the theaters then. That's fine.
right, right, exactly. So anyway, so we've got those are basically all of the symptoms that we took a long time to get through because we kind of bounced all over the place. That's kind of what we do here. So we've got three different kinds of ADHD paralysis. If we were really going to break it into like three separate things, which of course one of them is basically decision paralysis. But would you like to talk about one or more of these?
Sure. um, so there's ADHD mental paralysis, which is when a person is overwhelmed with thoughts, emotions, or information. This feels like a brain crash, which make it difficult to figure out what to do or say next, which I would like to point out also is relating to decisions because you have to figure out what to do or say next.
Really, I feel like all of this does relate, but
Yeah.
I liked it. So we have the ADHD choice paralysis, which is basically what we've been talking about when someone is faced with too many choices and has to make a decision. They may overthink or overanalyze the situation, becoming overwhelmed and struggle to pick an option or implement a solution.
for all of my Midwestern folk who would like to experience what choice paralysis is, go to a fucking Woodman's.
Oh, I don't
It's
know what
this
that is. I
giant
just said,
grocery store chain
oh,
um
okay.
in the area, and they have like an entire aisle devoted to ketchup.
Oh my
Like,
god.
there's so many choices.
Wow.
And like I used to shop there because it was the better place of like as far as like grocery stores that were near me.
Right.
But anytime I had to get something outside of what I normally got, I always ended up with the most expensive part or expensive choice because I could never decide, and I would just
Yeah.
grab one, and it's always
Ah,
the one that I just grabbed was always the most expensive.
of course.
Um so yeah, if you would like to experience choice paralysis, go to a Woodman's.
I'll have to go the next time I'm there just to experience the wonder of an entire aisle of ketchup,
Yeah,
even though I don't like ketchup.
me either.
Um,
Would you
it
like me
doesn't
to do the next one?
sure.
Okay. ADHD task paralysis. When an ADHDer feels hesitant, scared, or unmotivated to begin a task. As a result, they tend to procrastinate and avoid it as much as possible by doing other activities or zoning out. Which is
Yeah.
also related to choices.
Yeah. Well, because that's an active, like, choice whether or not it's one that you actually want to be making.
Yeah.
Um, I do it's again, it's n hesitant, scared, or motivated to begin a task. That also I feel like could include just you can't initiate that task because you don't know where to start, so you just do something else.
Yeah.
And that something else may be purging your bathroom and your closet.
Mhm.
There's still things that needed to get done, but I avoid doing, like, the tough thing. So, anywho's, we can go ahead and go to our last break. When we come back, we'll talk about how we can, maybe not overcome decision paralysis, um, but just, like, some ways to kinda how we
Learn
can
to
help
live with it.
learn to live with it, help manage it. So, now a message from one of our sponsors. That was lovely. Okay. And right when I thought that we were gonna have about an hour-long episode, then we went haywire with that list of symptoms, and I am literally going to call this, like, be like, "Do you wanna listen to us getting called out?"
Yeah.
Anyways,
Calling
uh,
each other out.
calling each other out. I feel like it's a little unbalanced, but that's okay. That's
I'm
okay.
sorry.
No, 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 it's fine. It's fine because it's fine. Um, cool, 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 cool,
Cool.
cool,
Cool, cool, cool.
cool, cool, cool. Um, and we're back.
Yes, we are.
Indeed. So, Stephanie, how can we overcome decision paralysis or at least make it more manageable?
I love this question. So many things.
All of the
Uh,
things.
yeah, all the things. Um, so there's body doubling, which
Mhm,
me and
mhm.
Meg do quite often.
Yes.
Um, and you can do it like in person or virtual on
Virtually.
the phone.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people who oh, I'll explain first. So
Yes.
body
Yes.
doubling is basically having another person there doing something similar, but it's their own project of sorts.
Yeah.
Um, or doing the same project together, but like having someone there while you're working on whatever project you have to do.
Right. It
Um,
helps hold you accountable because ideally, you wouldn't just get up and go do something else.
yeah,
Although I feel like we're such good friends, we usually end up just talking.
yeah, we do tend to do that a lot. We don't get to do it as often And
Well, that's
so
true, that's true. And
we
if we
need to
go
talk more.
I was gonna say, if we go a while without body doubling, then it's like, "Oh, well, I gotta catch you up on all this, and then, oh, and
Yeah.
this happened, and this happened, and then that happened," and then we're, like,
Yeah.
an hour
But
later
it does
and
work really well when we're
yes,
not trying to catch up.
it does, it does.
So,
Especially when we're working
um,
on something similar or technically the same task, then it's very easy to bounce back and forth.
yeah. So that's one good way.
Yes.
Uh, and uh, the big thing that I like talk about is step back and consider what is actually, truthfully, and rationally the worst that could happen.
Yes. I had to put
So,
those clarifiers in there.
yes. So, literally, like, look at your decision and what is the worst thing that could happen with your decision.
Yeah.
Um, most of the time, the worst that could happen isn't nearly as bad as your brain is telling you.
Right. Exactly.
So, um, and then if you still can't decide after you've realized that like you're not gonna fucking die if you
Right.
whatever decision you make, like neither decision is going to be catastrophic, but you still can't decide, then use a randomizer.
And if you don't like the option you got, then there you go, you made your decision.
Yeah, exactly. So I do this a lot of times. Like I said, I have a lot of struggles with smaller decisions. So
Mhm.
what am I going to eat for dinner? I will make a list of the things that looked good when I looked through, DoorDash or Google or whatever,
Yeah.
or look through my pantry. And then I will literally usually I go on my phone and find a number generator. You can
Mhm.
Google
Mhm.
number generator and it'll just give you one. And it'll give you, you can change 1 through however many.
Right.
And then you do the randomizer and it makes a decision for you.
Right.
And either you're okay with it and then you do it, or you're not okay with it and that just made a decision for you.
Or if you have a dice laying around or a die.
Yes. That's also another thing is you can do that. Um but leave it up to like if it's not going to be a catastrophic decision, like either way you decide, then let the universe decide, because why bother yourself with more decisions?
More mental load. Like,
Yeah. With picking movies, I actually have a bunch of spreadsheets that are different like categories of movies that I want to watch. And I'll like anytime I think about a movie, I'm like, "Oh, I want to watch that sometime." I'll put it on one of those lists, whatever
yep.
one it works for it. Um and then uh when I'm actually ready to sit down and watch a movie, instead of sitting there and scrolling through Netflix for 3 hours and losing my time that I could be watching a movie, I
Right.
instead just go straight to, okay, this is the category I want,
Yep.
and I get that random number
Yep.
generator 1 through whatever, and whatever one it lands on, it's like if if I'm fine with that answer, then I'm gonna watch that movie, and if not, I'll just roll again.
Well,
That
yeah.
answered my question. So
Exactly.
so it's not like I have to watch it, but it kind of forces me to make that decision if I don't want to watch it, you
Right.
know?
Right.
Um so yeah, and you never know. Might end up, I mean, the worst, nothing really catastrophic can happen from deciding on a movie, you know? But you'll probably have a good time watching it as long as you were okay with the answer. So,
And now, you guys probably thought it wasn't coming, even though this is only the third episode it exists, so maybe it's not a thing yet. But drum roll, please. Hopefully that's audible. Drum, 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 boom, 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 boom. We have Stephanie's rabbit hole. Take it away.
I'm here. So yeah, my rabbit hole is another decision-making thing.
Woo.
So every once in a while I will, struggle with a decision, or after the fact, I'll kind of wonder if I made the right decision on like bigger things that are more important. Um, and in the process of trying to learn myself more, I also found a good tool for that. And so I actually got into oracle cards.
Yeah.
Uh, so I have a bunch of these, and uh, my brain thought of this because someone asked what the difference between a tarot and an oracle is. And tarot is basically you have this set of cards, and this is exactly what it means. Where oracle is you drew this card, and this is some basic information that you can interpret into something else.
Right. It's not gonna
um
tell you, like, do this, do that. Like, this is
yeah, it's
you
not going to make the decision for you.
right.
It's
What you
gonna
see in it.
Yeah, it's taking your perception. So instead of just making that decision for you, you still have a choice with your oracle cards. Um and this is why I love it so much, is because it's more, I like the science behind it, the
Yeah.
neuroscience behind it. So
Neuroscience.
I have my deck of cards, and so like I'm gonna draw one. Um and do you have a decision that you have to make anytime soon?
Does it need to be, like, an actually big, important decision?
Nothing huge and important, but more than like a movie.
Oh, so more than what I'm eating.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Can it be like, oh, should I hike the day after my tattoo or not?
Okay.
Because I'm getting my tattoo on Friday.
All right. So I'm gonna just this does not necessarily mean anything for you, but I'm gonna draw a card.
Okay.
So, and you get number 38, the sigil keeper,
Okay.
and I'm gonna read what it says in the book about it.
Okay. Okay.
And then just listen to it. There's just whatever you think it's saying to you is what it's saying.
Okay. Perfect.
Let me find it. All right. I went too far. All right. When the sigil keeper comes to you, there will be no words. Instead, there will be shapes and signs and messages aflowing, as though a language of symbols is being shared with you. When she comes, you are being encouraged to participate in the process by creating and shaping your own magical symbols and beginning to consciously choose the symbolic language that you are creating and connecting with every single day. You may wish to find a symbol at this time that represents you and the part of the journey you are exploring at your present. You may wish to look around at your home and see what hidden symbols have worked their way into your life, and you may wish to rearrange these, remove some, replace others with symbols that are consciously chosen to be of greatest magical support to you at this time. Look at your clothing, what you wear, and see the symbolic nature of this, and go through your jewelry and consider carefully the energy of its symbols and whether you wish to connect with this. Sigil work is simple but ever so powerful, and this amazing being is a reminder to work with intelligence and exercise your choice at all times. You must choose carefully now what symbols you keep about you, for they have shaped you more than you have ever truly considered.
That's telling me to get more tattoos.
I agree.
I mean, is it not? It doesn't
No,
answer like the question, but that's telling me I need all the sigils on me.
I
Like I
think you
need the
need more
tattoos.
tattoos.
I need more tattoos.
And
That's
see,
exactly what it's
sometimes
saying.
that's what the real question is.
It knew what my real question was. It said
Yeah.
the hike will be dependent on your tattoo artist and how you feel the next day, really.
Yeah.
So what you really need is more tattoos.
Yeah.
The
Um,
oracle has spoken.
yeah. So, like, what's nice about the oracle is it's by your perception. And so You know, you read that and you're like, I need more tattoos.
Yeah.
But someone else might be like, I need to rearrange my living room,
Oh, yeah.
you know?
Also, I
So
think it is kind of ironic I did, purge and
immediately.
reorganize my bathroom and my closet yesterday, and then that's the card you pulled.
Yeah. But I just, you know, I love the way that it forces you to kind of take that introspection without making it so mentally straining.
Right.
Um, where, you know, sometimes when I'm just not feeling myself or whatever, I don't feel good or whatever, I'll just draw a card and see what it says.
'Cause it might
Cause
give you something. It might
yeah,
yeah.
and usually it's telling me what my body wants.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I won't feel good and I'll draw a card and I basically read it as like, "Oh yeah, you need to sleep." Like
Drink
like
some water, bitch.
yeah, drink some water and go to bed. That's basically what it says. Like um and it's a way to be introspective while also in
Yeah.
like having a little fun. So yeah, that's my little
I like it, and now I'm gonna go
oracle
tell
card.
Joe
It's not all
exactly what
about
I need.
magic.
Even though I have others planned, so I don't need to, but I did tell my boss that any single time that she sees any sort of flash event and we're both off and we're able to make appointments because I will not do the waiting in line outside the shop, I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is, like, I'm there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, of course, I have Friday, then I have August with you, and then in November, I'm doing maybe just coloring in some of the ones I have when we're in Florida.
Yeah. I need to get some work on my sleeve done. I'm craving it.
Do we have anything else for this podcast episode?
I think we're good.
Cool. Then,
So, yeah, that's it, guys. See you later.
that's all, folks.
Yep.
Bye.
Have fun.
Okay, cool. I can edit all of this because then the outro is, recorded